Tonight on Patriots This Week. In earning their 7th win of the season, the Patriots might have also earned an education.
May takes the shotgun snap, he stands in, he double clutches, and he lost the ball! He fumbled trying to escape. He's being pressured, ball's set, ball is not loose, it's picked up, it's a scoop, and a run to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, tripped up and tackled at the 5.
I think that, we did learn a little bit about ourselves, that you can make mistakes and you have to be able to come back and finish the game.
Stefon Diggs celebrated his 2nd touchdown of the season, but the receiver was reflective post-game.
It feels like a win, but you can be so much better.
Tied for the conference's best record, the Patriots head to Tampa, where a Baker has turned into a magician this season.
Baker can extend plays and give him a clean look. He's going to be able to function extremely well.
This is Patriots This Week.
Well, the Patriots picked up their 6th straight win, but after double-digit victories the last 2 weeks, they pulled this one out by the narrowest of margins. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Patriots This Week. I'm Bob Socci with my partner from 98.5 The Sports Hub, Scott Zolak, and Brian Hoyer, of course, 2 former Patriots quarterbacks who watched the Pats quarterback Drake May have maybe a shakiest outing of the season, or at least of late, I should say, during this winning streak. But nonetheless, a win is a win.
I just think it's good that you could survive a game like that. You had the ball up, you're 21-7. The ball's in midfield. I don't blame them for sort of going on the attack there, trying to get another field goal and just put the game out of reach. But Drake will learn from this, and he will be better for it. The thing I enjoy watching the games and calling with him is he never really makes that the same mistake over and over again. Like he works hard to put those behind him, and that's what I appreciate.
No, look, if this is going to be an off-day performance from Drake May, and it's 2 touchdown passes, 260 yards, a rating over 100.
I'd take it every day.
I think what Zoe said is so true. Like, this is the NFL. Like, it wasn't sustainable to go out there every week and play flawless, because that's really what he's done for 5 weeks up until last week. And honestly, it was 2 plays, right? It was being careless with the ball, trying to stiff arm a defensive end when he's in the pocket, which, like Zoe said, he'll learn from that. He even said after the game, like, I can't stiff arm everybody, right? And then, the interception to me was, I've run that play before. I know exactly what he's thinking. He sees a little bit of a window in between the hook defenders, but I can hear Josh in my head right now. Look, the tight end's never going to look on a crossing route until he gets to the backside hash.
If that safety's deep middle, he's cutting it across.
He's cutting across. And so it was a very similar play to what he had Hooper on the week before up the seam. And I think he just felt it, and it's not Hunter's fault. I think it's a learning process for Drake. Like, I see the zone, I see the opening, I want to get it there, but the good play is to check it down to Diggs, keep the drive moving. So 2 plays right there. I don't think you'll see Drake make those mistakes again.
I think the one thing that I did see in this game is some of the timing stuff start to develop. Like the touchdown to Diggs, it's your quintessential spot route, post corner behind it, flat route. And that's what you read. We've been running that play here for 30 years. And a couple weeks ago, the Saints game, Diggs slides in running the spot. Drake puts it on the back. It's incomplete. This time, bang, it's right in the chest. Diggs makes a great move, gets outside. Henderson with just enough of a block to get him in. Great individual effort. And they're all starting to come around. And it just stinks that Keyshawn Boutte pulled up with the hamstring.
Yeah, the Boutte injury certainly an effect on the team. Same with Ramondre Stevenson, their best pass-protecting running back, not being out there.
Yeah.
You noted an impact during the game, not having Boutte out there. What did that do to Drake May's options?
I think it cuts the field in half for you, because right away now we don't have to worry about the deep threat. It cuts the field in half, so now all of a sudden if you've got your best cover guy, we don't really have to put it on Boutte on 3rd and long. We could take him, put him on Pop now, put him on Hunter Henry, put him on Diggs. We could double Diggs.
Yeah, there's a vertical element to Boutte's game, right? We've seen it, the deep balls, even the deep comebacks. He ran a great the double move comeback on Denzel Ward against the Browns. Like, you always know when Boutte's out there that in the back of Drake's mind, he's like, if I get one-on-one with Boutte, I'm going to take a shot down the field. Sure. You kind of lose that, and I think Vrabel has hit on it now with the question of what Boutte status. Kyle Williams gets more of a role. Let's see if we can get some of the speed element and the timing down with Drake, because I think that's the one thing. We've seen Drake attempt some passes to Kyle Williams, but the timing is just off.
I think the other part about this game, too, is that going in, you never knew what you were going to get from Atlanta. And the Falcons didn't lie down after that first series for the Patriots, the first series for the Falcons. It's 7-0. New England, to their credit, the Falcons came back. They were able to exert a lot of pressure on Drake May. Are you concerned about the residual effects of that pressure? Now 11 sacks in the last 2 games
It all adds up. You see guys like Ellis get nicked. You're starting to see, guys go down here and there. Ramondre with the toe. You can only take so much. And I think the best thing with Drake is he's young, but nothing could really replicate the big hit. The big hit that Mahomes took on the sideline. Like, you're risking cracking a rib or something. You get a cracked rib, you're out 3 weeks, you can't throw. Then it sets you back. He's got to be careful with some of the stuff. I do agree with that. But, you can see him with the double, triple pats.
Yeah.
That means coverage isn't there. Coverage is there. So now he's got to understand, I got to either throw this thing away or get out of bounds and don't take the hit.
When I went back and watched the coaches' tape of this game, when Drake gets the ball and is in rhythm and hits it like the touchdown to Pop, I mean, there's probably not a more accurate passer right now, which is a lot to be said because last year at this time, there was accuracy questions, right? And now you see him playing, and when things are on time and he gets what he's expecting and there's a good protection in the pocket, to your point, you saw some of that this game where maybe the coverage took away his number one and you see the pat, right? Now he's got to reset. That's where Tom Brady was so great, was getting to the check down, right? And that's the hard part because how many times have we seen Drake pull the ball down and run? It just happened that the Atlanta did a better job of corralling him in the pocket, so now some of those runs for 5, 7, 12 yards are turning into sacks.
It was an interesting game, though, too, because he had clean pockets at times, and then there were other times, as we've talked about, where he was under a lot of pressure. Yeah. Why does the offensive line continue to struggle with those tackle end games?
You got youth on one side, and you got aging veterans on the other side. Mike Nwenu at times, I think, struggles, from a physical standpoint, from a quickness standpoint, that once you take one of those fast defensive ends, you cross the face. Big heavy guards aren't going to get back without a holding call and get those guys. And I think so they catch you on the TE games.
I think a lot of people don't understand the communication that has to go on while those games are happening. So you remember, I mean, the amount of screaming and yelling that the guard and tackle are communicating, you, me. Like, they have to really work together. And I think, look, we're 9 games in? That takes as Scar would say, it's seeing the game through the same set of eyes. Yeah. And that takes time. That's where, I talk to David Andrews about this all the time. Okay, double team blocks. You got to be hip to hip and you got to know when to come off. It's very nuanced and you'd like to see improvement, but until you prove that you can pass that tackle off and then stay there stout against the defense, and they're going to test it each and every week. You got to do a better job of staying on the same level, understanding when the guy's not rushing you, he's actually trying to pick you, and now pass him off to the tackle. It's a very nuanced technique, but it'll come with experience. And
similarly, on defense, you have to have communication when you're facing those stacked receivers. Yep. And Marcus Jones several times got caught on Drake London. London got the better of him, 3 touchdown passes to him, one of them in Carlton Davis toward the end. All great plays by the Falcons receiver, but nonetheless, you've got to think teams are going to try now to copycat.
The guy's a beast. The guy's a beast. He reminded me of Mike Evans. I said it right away during the broadcast, and he's Mike Evans. He was there in the hip pocket. The coverage is there, but at some point you got to understand, one guy's 5'9", the other guy's 6'4", 6'5". Yep. That's an utter mismatch, and he was the best Drake on the field. We never say that a lot. Right? It's not Drake May, it was the other Drake.
Yeah, he was incredible. I think the one thing, like Bob, you were bringing up, is when you get in these stack alignments, and you mentioned it before, there's a lot of different ways you can cover it. I think the one thing that I sat there watching the game like, God, can we put Gonzalez on him some way, somehow? Can we, when they go in motion, just lock it with Gonzalez? And I think that's what you're going to have to do going forward if a team has a premier, bigger receiver, because Gonzo, to me, has proven he's one of the top 3 corners in the league.
Well, the Patriots eventually win it because of a missed extra point in the end that could have tied it for Atlanta, but also because of a defensive stand that forced the Falcons into a 4th and 20, then a key 3rd down conversion to Hunter Henry. So they got the win. Just win, baby. The motto around here, too, and the Patriots now 7-2. Back with more right after this.
Thanks, Al Davis.
Patriots This Week is brought to you by Cross Insurance, official insurance broker of the New England Patriots. By DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots. And by Sports Illustrated Tickets, 50 million sports, concerts, and theater tickets. 0 fees. Fans deserve better. Visit SITickets.com today.
Cross Insurance Player of the Week is Terrell Jennings. The 6-foot, 217-pound running back started the season on the practice squad, but the 24-year-old out of Florida A&M was signed to the Patriots roster at the end of October. And Jennings celebrated by scoring his first touchdown as a pro against the Falcons. The Player of the Week is brought to you by Cross Insurance, the official insurance broker of the New England Patriots.
We're going to learn from winning so that we don't have to learn from losing, but give our guys credit there for finishing and coming up big when we had to in the fourth quarter.
And we bring you back inside the Bob's Discount Furniture studio with the words of head coach Mike Vrabel to the media. Mike Vrabel also told his team in the locker room, look, guys, don't let anybody take away your joy from winning this game. And I find it interesting here, the Patriots are 7-2. If you said to most fans, if not all fans, the Patriots would have 7 wins by the end of this season, people would be
Mike saying, man, we did games last 2 years, 4 wins each year, man. I call last year's really 3. So we are enjoying these wins. But I think it is good to win differently because Mike talked about, when you win games, it carries over to the week in instruction and practice, the attention that you hold for the team. I just remember at the end here, Tom had so much on him that, Tom, you got to go out and cover up our inequities. You don't want that with Drake. You don't want to start that at 23, like, go win the game, go win the game, go win the game. I thought it was a great moment when Mike went over, when you could tell Drake was struggling a little bit. And Mike grabbed my shoulder and said, hey, listen, we're either going to need a 2-minute offense or a 5-minute offense. We're going to need you to orchestrate that and go win this game. You could instruct your team throughout the course of the week, and now I could talk to the defense. We shut down another back, Bijan Robinson, held him under 50. We got it going, guys. We're winning games differently. And I think that's the biggest thing I take from it.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Vrabel going over to Drake because, look, we all have witnessed him play phenomenally for 5 straight weeks. He has a few bad plays. He's only 23, and to have your head coach get there and say, look, you're good. We got it. We're going to figure out a way to do this and encourage you in a moment like that, that goes a long way. And I think the biggest thing that I would say, and we all witnessed it here with Bill, sometimes the toughest meetings were after wins, right? You win a game, and I think what you're going to see from Vrabel is we're going to enjoy this because it is hard to win, and that's what you put all that work in during the week is so you can go out and have fun on Sundays. And you may be upset with some of the plays from the game, but it's better to be upset and win and learn from them than be upset and say, man, there's nothing really we can do to fix it. I think it's a great formula. You got to win some of those tough games. You got to win some of those ugly games. It actually helps bring you closer together as a team because you have a standard you want to meet and you're not satisfied.
It also, I would think, breeds confidence when you're in close games, even when you haven't played your best, that you're going to pull it out as opposed to in the past. Maybe guys are thinking in those situations, here we go again, waiting for a bad play to decide the game in the other direction.
Just from an individual standpoint, at the beginning of the year, I don't have a lot of belief or faith in Pop Douglas. Now, that's because you watch the games and you say, he was your fastest guy, he was your most productive guy the last couple of years. You just weren't seeing it at the beginning of the year, but you see him coming on, you see the confidence grow, the one catch behind him. His uncle passes away the night before the game, gets shot. He takes that with him. He's so emotional, and he has over a 100-yard game.
First career.
The ability to channel that and play, you respect players like that so much more. And it's not only him, it's like Diggs coming on. Somebody's coming on. Will Campbell, the effort on the strip sack. Not just it's so easy for a tackle to just say, I can't catch that guy. But no, you just see him duck the head for a big guy, and that's like David Ortiz rounded second. It makes you faster. It doesn't make you faster, but the effort was great.
Well, nobody can complain about the opponent this week in terms of the strength of schedule. Pats are going to take on a playoff team in Tampa Bay on the road. We'll talk about the Bucs right after this.
All right, time now for your Zoe Show. It's Tampa Bay week. We've been waiting for this big test, right? Patriots are 7-2, going down to Tampa. What are we going to talk about? Mike Evans? No, he's hurt. What about Godwin? No, he's hurt. Emeka Egbuka, that's who we're going to look at, the number 19th pick. Number 1 pick for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This guy's deadly. Why? Because Baker Mayfield can spread the ball around. He scrambles, he sets. This kid's from the Ohio State University. I want you to watch him right here. So what they like to do is run this stack. This stack right here, what it does, it keeps the contact off of Egbuka. So watch it right here. So what he's going to do is get the free release. Now he goes vertical, cuts across. This is bad coverage right there. Should have been picked off. But great concentration by him. Watch him here. So freeze it right here. We're going to do a little motion outside. So this is an indicator for New England. If you see that, you're thinking quick screen. Because he's going to come back inside and watch the speed on a quick screen right here. So a lot of things you got to communicate. A little motion outside. Good block right there. Sets him up. He doesn't even another one because he's got the speed. Now, here's the big one, big time one right here. This is where Baker Mayfield has found his new home and why he's getting paid the money. This is a big time throw. This all right here is just a little skinny. Stuff like this, Brian Hoyer and I dream about throwing balls like this. That thing is on the money right there. So Even though the two big guys are out, you got your hands full with Ibuka. Find him. Let's go, Christian Gonzalez. Tee him up. Make him 0 catches. There's your Zoe show.
We're back in the Bob's Discount Furniture studio. Time to preview Sunday's 1 o'clock matchup of the 7-2 Patriots against the 6-2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off a bye. Baker Mayfield's had a resurgence in his career. Todd Bowles, a very underrated coach when you look at his overall record, the job he's done succeeding Bruce Arians in Tampa Bay. Playoff team a year ago, seemingly playoff bound this season.
We really haven't had a good quarterback to call a game against since Josh Allen. I'm looking forward to going down there and seeing what Baker Mayfield can do in person. He's revived his career. And, you look at some of with Ibuka, there's some throws that this guy makes on the skinny. He's got a cannon for sort of a squatty younger guy. I wonder if they could push the pocket and get some balls knocked down against him. That's what I'm anxious to see.
Yeah, no Evans. Yeah. Godwin,
questionable.
Probably not going to play,
Yeah, I think, look, Baker, what a great story. For us as quarterbacks, anytime you see a guy who's kind of cast off, goes to Carolina. Carolina has Darnold and Baker Mayfield on the same roster. Can't figure it out. Goes and plays in LA on a week's notice. Finds a landing spot in Tampa. And I think, you look at the Buccaneers and the organization really gets turned around when Tom Brady goes down there, right? He kind of shows them what it takes to win. Bowles is there as a coordinator. Baker has been lights out, and he's a gunslinger. He's a true gunslinger, but I think he's really learned a lot from himself. Doesn't turn the ball over like he used to. So it's going to be a challenge for the Patriots defense because they're going to go slinging around. They got some good players.
Coming off the bye, too.
Coming off the bye.
Well,
the one thing that I would say is I don't think the Patriots offense should be afraid of that Bucs defense. I think Josh McDaniels has gone against Todd Bowles a lot. Todd Bowles is a very aggressive, likes to blitz, and the one thing that Josh is going to have is answers to those blitzes because Todd Bowles will blitz zero you in the middle of the second quarter and at the 50-yard line. And if Drake has the right keys, he could make them pay for that.
And about the pressure defense, they're starting to exert more pressure. 15 sacks in the last 3 games. They're getting more takeaways. They've been a couple of scores off defensive turnovers.
Yeah, some of the names are upside down. You look at some of the big names, you think that's where the production is going to be. Their big stats are from guys that you really don't expect the numbers to come from.
Yeah, their success comes a lot from the scheme. As I mentioned before, Bowles is an aggressive play caller, right? They like to try to get after the quarterback. Some of the ways to settle that down is with a good running game. Some of the ways to settle that down, it's kind of a chess match, right? I think Todd Bowles knows Josh McDaniels and knows that he has answers for the pressure package. But that doesn't mean Todd Bowles isn't going to bring it, right? And so it's going to be one of those chess matches back and forth. Can Bowles get pressure on Drake May with a blitz package? When he calls it, can Drake get it handled and get it to the right guy? And it'll kind of go back and forth. And I think Bowles will, test Drake and that offensive line until they prove that they can handle it. So it's going to be a hell of a matchup. I've been looking forward to this game for a long time because of the way the Bucs played and because each week you saw the Patriots winning, getting better. This is a great litmus test.
All right, coming up, these guys will tell you who will get the next win and who will suffer its 3rd loss, unless they're predicting a tie. We'll be back with more right after this.
Patriots This Week is brought to you by Cross Insurance, official insurance broker of the New England Patriots. By DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots. And by Sports Illustrated Tickets, 50 million sports, concerts, and theater tickets. 0 fees. Fans deserve better. Visit sitickets.com today.
It's been a big year for Indiana Jones and the Colts. The former Giants quarterback has helmed a well-balanced offense that is one of the best in the league. Expect a big bounce-back week for Jones when Indy hosts the Falcons in Germany. But Chris Olave needs pine time. The Saints have turned to Tyler Shuck at QB, and until Shuck shows he can handle the NFL, it's best to sit Olave when New Orleans travels to Carolina. This week's sleeper is Christian Watson. Since returning from injury 2 weeks ago, Watson has been one of Jordan Love's favorite targets. Expect a high-scoring affair at Lambeau Field when the Eagles swoop in on Monday night. This week's fantasy picks are brought to you by Verizon.
It is another 1 o'clock kickoff for the Patriots this weekend at Tampa Bay. Scott Zolak, Pats Buccaneers, who wins on Sunday?
I always go with the offense. I'm going with the defense. Christian Gonzalez is your game changer. 24-23 Patriots make it 7 in a row. It's 7 in a row now, right?
7.
7 in a row. I can't believe it. Pinch myself.
Brian?
I'm going to stick with the Patriots. They're on a roll. I think they're coming together as a team. I'm going to go with Drake May. I think he leads a game-winning drive. Patriots win 24-21, just like he did in Buffalo.
All right, it's the Pats and the Bucs Zone. I have the radio call on 98.5 The Sports Hub at 1 o'clock. For Scott Zolak and Brian Hoyer, I'm Bob Socci. Thanks so much for joining us. So long, everyone.